people, rise and shine. It's another beautiful day, and I want you to get up and embrace the day to the fullest. Hi, I'm Coach Ricardo Miller, and I like to challenge people. I like to challenge people because I believe there's always room for growth. I believe there's always room for us to look at what we're doing and make certain adjustments so God can be glorified. It's not about you, but it's about you. It's about God who created you, gave you a purpose, placed you in the earth, and wanted you to be his representative in the earth. So it's about you being responsible with what you've been given, the time you've been given, the talent you've been given, the various resources you've been given. You've got to figure out, how do I do better with what I've been given? So that's a great question. Now, this week we're doing this teaching on walk the talk because we found ourselves living in a culture, living in a time where it's more impressive to talk it than to walk it. Okay? Most people have been walking it and struggling with walking it. And so they start leaning towards what everybody else is doing, which is just simply talking it. The blessing lies in walking it. When you discover the truth, you make a commitment to do the truth you've discovered. So that's the fight of our lives. I want to live what I know to be true. Once I discover truth, I want to walk it out. So walk it out. Okay? I'm learning to walk out the word of God. I'm learning to walk out the principles that I'm discovering that will allow me to be free and to shine my light bright. And that's what it's about. I want to shine bright. How many of you could say with confidence this morning, I want to shine bright? You want to shine bright in every area of your life. Now, here's the deal. I truly believe everybody does better with a coach. Okay? You are not alone, and someone is assigned to help you. You have to be willing to embrace help. Not only have I learned that someone is assigned to help you, I've learned that everybody doesn't know how to use help. Everybody doesn't know how to use help, but that's not you. Okay, that's not you. So thank you to each and every one of you guys for joining me this morning. This morning, we're going to talk about the importance of consistency. The importance of consistency. In life, consistency is key to achieving lasting success. You've discovered the truth. The problem is you're not consistent with the truth you've discovered. So there are people who started it, Rosalind. Are you familiar with people who started doing right? Miss Cynthia, are you familiar with people who started doing right? They started doing right, but they weren't consistent in doing right. Galatians chapter 6, verse 9 said, it reminds us not to grow weary in well-doing, for at the right time, we will reap a reward of our efforts. Okay? We will reap a reward of our efforts. But here's the deal. This is what it says. Don't grow weary in doing good. Don't grow weary in doing good. If you know it's the right thing to do, if you know you've started doing it, don't stop doing it. It's one of the hardest things that I found my coaching clients have a problem with. In other words, oftentimes they have no problem starting something. Coach, okay, I'm going to start that. Okay, I hear you. I'm going to start that. And you start to hear people, I'm doing it, but they're not consistent with it. One of my secret sauce for climbing to the top has been consistency. May the Lord help us all to be consistent with the truth we've discovered. Can you declare that this morning? May the Lord help me with the truth I've discovered. I want to work it until I make it. I want to be consistent with the truth I've discovered. I don't want to start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. It is actually one of the big turn-off things that I find myself being thrown off by. I don't want to say frustrated, but it's one of those things that I am so not impressed with. And that is people who start a good thing, but unfortunately, they're not keeping up with the good thing they've started. See, it's not so much how grand you kicked off. It's not so impressive as to what thing you started. The question is, can you keep it up? Can you keep it up? May the Lord help us all. May the Lord help us all. See, when we talk about this whole concept of walk the talk, we're talking consistency in action. Okay? The things you start to do, may you always do them to the best of your ability. Okay? Consistency in action. You're never going to start and stop. What you're going to do is you're going to find your rhythm. May you find your rhythm to allow you to not start and stop. Okay? Your rhythm to not, what you want to do is you want to pace yourself. Come on, how many of y'all get that in your spirit? How many of y'all feel that this morning? You want to pace yourself. You want to learn how to get up in the morning, not have to force yourself to get up in the morning. You want to learn how to save money, not force yourself to save money. You want to learn how to be sociably engaging, to allow yourself to grow in the circle of the right people, not have these high moments where you're for people in one season and then you're not for people. Then you're socially engaging, then you're not socially engaging. Listen, guys, that whole process, it'll hurt you. Now, you got to remember, if someone is assigned to help you, don't be afraid to ask for help, because you figured out something that is true, but you're having difficulty being consistent with it. So it is easy to give up when things get tough, but it is during those moments that consistency matters the most. Consistency in our actions and our words not only builds a strong reputation, but it also establishes credibility. It also establishes credibility. Over time, staying committed to doing good strengthens your message and influences those around you. You know, you start to become known for that thing. People start to declare, well, that's the lady right there, man. She manages her money well. She's always done that. Yeah. Oh, man, she's good with people. Oh, man, whenever she shows up, she always shows up on time and she delivers. You want to establish a reputation of a person who's not what we used to call wishy-washy. A person who is not all over the place. You want to have a rhythm. You want to find your form. You want to find how you're going to make this thing work. So look at your week. How consistent are you? Well, I'm real consistent in this one area, coach. I'm real consistent in this one area. Well, you've got to learn how to be consistent in more than one area if you're wanting to live life effectively, if you're wanting to create that life where there's nothing missing, lacking, or broken. People who are not consistent, they're almost always running after the next thing. Well, I think this thing will make it work for me. Well, this thing over here will make it work for me. Oh, this thing will work here. And then you hear them say things like this. You hear them say things like, if I can only get up early in the morning, things will work out for me. If I can only start that side business, things will work out for me. If I can only get that job, if I can only finish my degree. And what happens is they leave everything else. If I can only lose the weight. If I can only stop eating sugar. If I can only, and here's what I need you to understand. It's not only the thing you desire, but it's also the things you already know that you started but stopped. It's not only the thing you desire, it's the thing that you started and stopped. How many of you would say this morning, boy, that's a struggle, that consistency thing? I can see how many things you've started and stopped that would have been good for you. You know, how many things you started and stopped and would have been good for you. You want to learn how to stick with what you're supposed to stick with. You know how many people, watch this, I'm going to throw this out there. Do you know how many people, watch this, they get an audible book and they don't finish listening to it. And I know that some books you're like, oh Lord, this is so boring. I don't really want to listen to it. But I've been practicing. Listen to it, listen to it, listen to it. Because here's the discipline to listen and to be consistent in the follow through process is where some of the greatest values come from. I've watched people who says, you know what, I need a coach. They got a fitness coach, they got a money management coach, they got a life management coach. But here's the deal. They start and they stop. They start and they stop. They start and they stop. I've met people who says, listen, I got to learn how to enjoy life. Coach, I got to learn how to enjoy life. So they say they're going to do these things to enjoy life. And then they start and they stop and they start and they stop. And I'm like, ooh, you're hurting yourself. You're hurting yourself. And I'm like, you need to get my book and you need to be consistent with the chapters. And you need to start asking yourself, am I applying the principles in the book? Am I working it? Or am I just talking about the fact that, well, you know, I got the book. I got the book. Well, here's the deal. Getting the book is not enough. The question is, are you going to be one of those people who you've discovered principle, now you're committed to applying the principle? Okay? Fight to be consistent with the truth that you've discovered. Let me close out with this. Fight to be consistent with the truth you've discovered. You don't have to be the smartest in the room. You don't have to be the most talented in the room. You don't have to know the most people. What you do have to do is you have to identify truth. And then what you have to do is just in small increments, just commit to doing right. And you add on consistently the little things that's right. Getting up early is a healthy habit. Drinking water is a healthy habit. 90% of the times, if it's any liquid I'm going to drink, it's going to drink water. 90% of the times, if it's one thing you could be rest assured, I'm going to get up early. I'm going to have a to-do list. You just find what's going to work for you. Well, coach, I don't know what to do. Start with what you know what to do and be consistent with that. Even if you just did that. If you just did, well, I know I need to save money. How about that? Start doing it. I know I need to eat better. How about that? I know I need to zip it sometime and not be so quick to respond. How about that? You got to know that you know enough. If you would apply it, oh man. Did you hear me just now? You know enough. But if you were to apply it and be consistent with it, game changer. Game changer. The problem lies, please share this with somebody. Somebody needs to hear this as well. The problem lies is most of us are not willing to examine how inconsistent we have been with the truths we've discovered over time. There is so much we've discovered over time, but there is so much we've also allowed to fall by the wayside. I heard one person told me the other day, Coach, I listen to you early in the morning because I consider them these my early morning like devotion session. And I said, I might just call it morning devotion with Coach Miller, because just being consistent and getting the right thoughts in your head over time will allow you to move ahead. Just choosing to do and be consistent with that which you are doing because you know it is the right thing. Make adjustments if you must. Okay? Make adjustments if you must, but don't quit. When you discover the truth, fight to keep doing the truth you've discovered. Let me say it again. When you discover the truth, fight to keep doing the truth you've discovered. The power lies in consistency. You would have met a lot of people who are better than you, who are more talented than you, a lot of people who would have and should have been further than you, but they're not, because they have started and stopped so much that they're so far behind, and now they're hating on your consistency because you continue to show up in small increments. You have now outdone them, and you're outdoing a lot of people who actually should be doing better than you. But God is with you because you've learned the secret sauce to success. One of the secret sauce to success is consistency, discovering truth and being consistent. So when we talk about walk your talk, we're talking learning how to identify what to do. You say, I know. When you say, I know, then what you need to start doing is backing that up by doing, and not only doing it when you don't feel like doing it, because now you're disciplining yourself never to stop doing what you know. I'm Coach Ricardo Miller. I want to challenge you to pick up a copy of my book, Effective Living, at ricardomiller.com. And then there's some of you guys, you got to end the year different. Go ahead and inquire, get a hold of my one-on-one coaching services. I really believe someone is assigned to help you. And I believe that you would want to organize your life in a way to make the rest of your life the best of your life. Let a coach do that. Let somebody help you put together what you've been having difficulties with. God bless you. Have a great day. Please share this with somebody that needs to look into the fact that they need to be more consistent. Whenever you talk to them, you hear this comment occur. I know. Well, why aren't you doing what you know? You know why? It is easier to know than to do. But when you know and you do and you're consistent, oh boy, look out, world. Here you come. You'll be unstoppable. Sometimes you need somebody to hold you accountable to go do what you got to do. God bless you. Bye-bye.